My name is Teresa Blanco, the artsysister, and we're continuing with my sweet vampire Candice written by me. This is chapter 10. Katrina wants to go to Disney World too. It was around August 17 when Marulu suddenly appeared in Hialeah. Being a bit of a judgmental type of fellow, the first thing she said, "What a small apartment." "Hello to you as well, mother," said Candice. Sitting beside Candice, drawing on the table, was Sofita. She had tried the whole school life experience in order to torture herself. The nuns of the monastery were still refusing to let her rejoin their cult. Sofita had apparently failed to prove that she appreciated what she got. In the end, the headmistress told her that she must complete 5 years of public school in the U.S. before being allowed to return. Sofita was a little too big to do primary school. For that reason, she decided to do middle school and high school. She had heard that the Hialeah schools were full of chums, so now she was Candice's new neighbor. Candice continued on with her conversation with Sofita. "So, what is school like?" "It is like your classes with Siddhartha, except that the teachers and the students are always trying to humiliate you," explained Sofita. "Wow, so Roxana was right. Everyone is like a jerk in this country," said Candice. "And everywhere else as well," added Marlo. "I'm only here to enjoy the concerts and the movies while the good times last." "Speaking of good times, I want to go to Disney World," said Maruru. "Sure, let's go to the happiest place on earth," said Marlo, smiling. "How many days should we stay there?" asked Candice. "Well, to enjoy the full experience, I think we should do about 2 weeks. We can go to all of the parks at least once, and there's also Blizzard Beach and Islands of Adventure," said Marlo. "Wanna go, Grandma?" asked Candice. "Sure. It is not as if I have anything better to do with my time on this world. We should go there before it all turns into Harry Potter and Star Wars," said Anya. And it did turn into that. That's what it is right now.
You predicted that.
Yeah. With this decided, Maruru, Anya, and Candice, Marlo, Sofita, and Ambrose packed everything and left for Kissimmee. Candice had not expected to see Ambrose in the flesh. Since it was a long car ride, the former lovebirds had plenty to talk about. It also helped that the road to Orlando was pretty boring. There was nothing but trees to see to the left and to the right. Ambrose said to Candice, "So, are you seeing anyone?" "Not really. Everyone's like a super jerk because I don't wear the right clothing or know the right movies, and I don't dance the way they expect you to. I was in the club the other day, and this weird lady started petting my hand. My teacher Siddhartha later explained to me that it was called imprinting, and that it was just a stupid way folks here hit on each other," explained Candice. "Hit?" asked Ambrose. "Courtship," said Candice. "To marry?" asked Ambrose. "No, to have pointless encounters in like the dirtiest bathrooms known to man. I tell you, Ambrose, I saw those bathrooms had not been cleaned once, like ever," whined Candice. "The way you two are talking, it makes you sound like old farts," retorted Marlo, laughing. "Hardy har 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 har," said Candice, fake laughing. She grew quiet for a bit, but then the boredom compelled her to talk to Ambrose once again. Candice sighed, and then she said, "There are times when I dream that I'm back at Martisor. I dream that I never left the place. As for me, I dream that I stay with you despite the fact that you refused to marry me," said Ambrose sadly. "I have been with Maruru for ages, and we never got married," said Marlo. "But what about the wedding photos?" asked Candice. "Which days then, 'cause when you were small, you started crying when folks told you that your parents were living in sin," said Maruru. "So instead of living in sin, you're living a lie then," said Candice. "Pretty much. It shouldn't matter what it says in a paper anyway, as long as there is love," said Marlo. "Is there any of that left?" asked Candice. "I tolerate your father, so be happy with that," said Maruru. Said Candice sadly. With the sun rising, Candice started falling asleep. She laid her head on Ambrose's shoulder. There was a small bump in the road, and this woke Candice. Candice was drooling a bit, and she then cleaned her mouth on Ambrose's coat. When she awoke, her mother was talking to Marlo. Maruro had asked Marlo, "So how is the Pietro fellow?" "He's dead," said Marlo flatly. I offered to make him a vampire, but he refused. He said he wanted to be with his mate on the other side, and that it was too painful to live alone. Now that is a shame, said Anya, looking up from her Game Boy Advance. She had not commented on the conversation. Rather, Latius had ran away and now she had to track her down again. In the trunk of the van there was the birdcage of Cassandra. Cassandra was watching the scenery go by. She said ominously, I'm going to miss this view when this fake earth turns to Southern ash. Southern ash? What are you talking about? Asked Candice. Man, I'm just a stupid bird. What do I know? Said Cassandra. More to the point, how do you know? Every time we ask you about something, you make up some other nonsense. But this new TA thing really takes the cake, you lying bird, said Ambrose, confronting Cassandra on her nonsense. At that moment, the song Soul Survivor by Blue Oyster Cult started playing. Ambrose liked the song, so he started enjoying it instead of bothering Cassandra. Cassandra looked abstracted for a bit, and by the end of the song she added, I used to be a giant, super powerful monster. Huh, said Candice, pretending to listen. I swallowed entire stars, said Cassandra, and now look at me, back to what I once was. More the pity. The peace and love
Is Cassandra an abandon?
used to be.
What? Which one?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, sorry, go on.
She's just a birthday weirdness.
Okay.
And abandon's no longer exists, so then she's just back to what she was.
Before she became one, okay, got it.
The peace I love, but she's cursed with memories. The peace I long for was nowhere to be found. Is that how you can see the future, Cassandra? Asked Amber, who was finally paying her attention. I know the future, but because I lived through this timeline once, a long time ago, though this is a clone of that original Earth, said Cassandra. Your parrot is talking crazy again, said Ambrose to Candice. She gets like that when she's like super bored, said Candice Johnny, paying her no mind. Candice looked to the backpack and she got out a miniature piano that actually worked. It had 18 keys, but it was enough to keep Cassandra's mind occupied. So the parrot started playing the piano. Ding, ding, ding. The family went to the rest stop. Candice got out with her mother to buy some snacks and to use the John. They came back with the stalest donuts that any mortal had ever tasted. Meanwhile, Marlo drove to put more gas on the car. Ambrose too got out to get some snacks while he waited in line to buy gas. While he was in line, he had Cassandra on his shoulder. Cassandra whispered to Ambrose, you should buy a Monopoly lottery ticket. Ambrose did as Cassandra told him. However, he was disappointed to know that the ticket was a dud. Ambrose said, I thought you said I was going to win. Cassandra's crest opened a bit, and then she said, I wanted to see your disappointment.
Bird.
What a jerk parrot. I wanted to see your disappointment. You could have stayed back in the apartment, said Ambrose. And miss all the fun. I will not miss the show for the world, said Cassandra, laughing. What show? Asked Ambrose, worried. You will see, little Ambrose, you will see, said Cassandra, puffing her chest feathers. After this rest stop, the family returned to the laundry to Kissimmee. Since Candice was dozing off again due to the fact that it was morning, Ambrose started making conversation with the dumb bird again. Ambrose asked Cassandra, so if this is not the true Earth, what planet is it? The humans from my time used to call it 2B, said Cassandra. I see. And you say you used to be a supervillain, continued Ambrose. Yes, I was the absolute worst, said Cassandra. Even worse than Bill Gates, asked Ambrose. The weirdness
Cassandra Zodiac.
The weirdness continued till it was time to rendezvous to the car. Inside the car, Cassandra kept complaining about being bored. Oh yeah, what time?
Oh, we're still at 5 minutes.
At the moment, I am bored in the back. Inside the car, Cassandra kept complaining about being bored. At the moment, I am bored in the back of the van, and all I see are cars and trees, and the air conditioner doesn't reach the back, complained Cassandra before plucking a feather. Dad, can you open the back window a bit? Asked Candice. I wouldn't if I were you. A bump in the road and Cassandra goes out the window, warned Cassandra. 2 hours later, the family finally reached Kissimmee. The place looked a bit rural, and it had a bunch of old shops. Candice saw over the horizon a giant reverse bungee tower, right? Candice asked, pointing at it, "Is that Disney World?" "No, Candice, and don't distract me. I'm looking for a clown," said Marlo. "What clown?" asked Maruru. "Don't you remember the name of the place you made reservations for?" "I don't remember because I didn't make a reservation." "The hotel with the clown always has rooms. Look, there it is," said Marlo, turning. The hotel with the clown in the entrance was a Quality Inn, or something. I forget. The place had a jester dressed in a purple checkerboard pattern outfit. Marlo got 3 rooms on the second floor. Marlo stayed with Maruru alone. Sofita stayed with Anya, and Candice with Ambrose and the crazy parrot Cassandra. Ambrose said, "Well, it's a cockatoo." Ambrose said to Candice, "Together at last." "We can hear you from the other room," said Sofita, chuckling. "What a bother," said frowned Ambrose. "Well, at least the bed is not a slab of wood," said Candice, sitting on the bed. "Yes, only the pillow," said Ambrose, lying back. "I miss you," said Cassandra, mimicking Candice's voice. "Me too, babe," said Ambrose. "Sorry to burst your bubble, but that was Cassandra," said Candice. "Aw," said Ambrose, looking quite dejected. The following day, the family awoke super early. The first place they were going to visit was the Epcot Center. The roads confused Marlo a lot, and he saw over the horizon the large golf ball, and he assumed that he was going in the right direction. In the end, he ended up arriving at the employees' parking section of the Epcot Center. After doubling back, Marlo ended up back in Kissimmee. In the end, they had to return to the hotel for Cassandra. They sat her on the dashboard of the car. While Marlo drove, she acted as a rudimentary type of GPS. When they finally parked, Sofita asked Marlo, "I don't see why don't we get a real GPS?" "It is not perfect and they're expensive," whined Marlo, "and it is not as if I get lost all the time. I'm not going to spend money on useless things." From the parking lot, they went to the center. Since this was Epcot in the year 2005, there was not a huge line, and the tickets were pretty cheap. They made their way around all the venues, and they took commemorative photos. Eventually, they rode the giant golf ball. All the rides were pretty mellowed out. Around noon, it started to rain, and Marlo cursed the very heavens. He was still a little tense because of the drive. He went to a nearby shop and he tried to buy an umbrella. When he saw the price, he went to the shopkeeper and he used his mind control abilities to buy it for $3 instead of paying $27. He kept at it whenever he ran into any shop. As to be expected, everything in other theme parks were expensive, but it was nothing that a vampire could not handle. Ambrose eventually asked Candice, "Does your father do that often?" "The mind control thing," asked Candice. "Nah, not often. Only when he thinks they're trying to stiff him. He's probably going to get a lot of shopkeepers fired, however." "Mother pity, it is not the seller's fault that Disney is a TV ambassador." "Disney is dead," said Ambrose. "He is?" asked Candice, surprised. "Ah, that's a shame." "I suppose the profiteering is to be expected with the main guy dead," said Sofita. "Don't read too much into it, Sofita. Humans are not in the business of running theme parks. They are in the business of making money to indulge in their hobbies," said Ambrose. By the time Marla had returned with the umbrella, it did not rain for the rest of the day. The following day, they visited the Magic Kingdom. They went to the haunted house and the carousels. Alright, we'll continue with this Disney World trip later. Bye bye.